Welcome to the thrilling recaps. Today I am going to start a new manhwa called A Villain is a Good Match for a Tyrant. If you want to watch this whole story till the end, then do let me know in the comments section. I will follow your request. Anyway, I am here to narrate for you. Also, I would like to kindly ask for your support and love. Please consider subscribing. So sit back and relax. Our story begins with two maids who are crying and telling something to their princess. Princess, congratulations on your marriage. Please cheer up. You have to survive this. The princess holding her dress and thinking, damn. The beautiful white-colored castle, the intricately laced wedding veil, a white silk wedding dress that feels like it could slip off at any moment. As the illegitimate child of the Nabatean royal family, her name is Cecil. She thinks, won't just stand by. Today, I will be married without an ounce of happiness. With the craziest, tyrant king in the entire continent. She was born from a drunken one-night stand, and it is said that she resembled the Nabatean king all too much. Beautiful platinum blonde hair and emerald eyes. So because of him, even though she mother passed away right after giving birth to her, she was allowed to stay in a secondary palace. Although it was just a palace with only 3 maids, a palace that nobody visited. As she allowed to leave the palace freely, the only thing she could do was read the books the maids brought for her. And waited to be sold off. The book said this: a princess like her sells for a lot in political marriages. And if it's already determined that she will be sold, she wanted to have a kind and handsome northern duke who loves her. Our story then progresses forward. And then suddenly we see 2 maids has been taking their princess forcefully to the king palace. She yells out and says, immediately? Wait, let go of me. Why are you doing this? The maid reply, you'll know when you get there, it is good news. She thinks, good news? Then why can't you look me in the eye? And her maids brought her into the palace. The king was sobbing and he says, what good news, my daughter? Congratulations, your spouse has been decided. And then Cecil says, first of all, it's nice to see you, father. And she thinks, this is definitely a storybook. I'll surely be sold off to an old and rich aristocrat, won't I? The king says, rejoice, the suitor has come, your spouse is King Estienne. She shock, says, pardon? And she yells out loud, King Estienne? The king says, yes, King Estienne? She immediately says, no, wait, please wait. And she thinks, if it's King Estienne, surely. He ascended the throne at the age of 16, and as soon as he did, he beheaded all of his relatives and hanged them at the palace entrance. The tyrant, said to any the craziest in the entire continent. At that time only one servant criticized him. The one of his servants says, "You Majesty, this is a crime done by someone who has abandoned their morals." And it is said that he dragged him, intact, all the way to the royal palace. As we see King sitting at his royal seat and he says, "If you drank the same poison I did, I bet you wouldn't dare say something like that." He's showing him a bottle and says, So I prepared something for you. He throws the bottle towards him and says, Before I became the king, this is the poison I drank. Try it. Why do you make such a face? That face tells me that you already know how tormenting that poison is. Then, I'll give you a choice. Drink the poison, or kill your son over there yourself. The boy says while crying, Father! The father said nothing and he let his son dies. And she's thinking again after all this. That notorious tyrant, King Estienne? That king requested for me to be his prospective wife? If I must be sold off in a marriage, I wanted my partner to at least be an amazingly handsome and cold northern duke who only looks at me. I know it's ridiculous, but some expectations. Why? Why must I be so uselessly beautiful? The king tells while smiling. Ah, for your information, the marriage was decided by drawing lots. Marriage and whatnot are usually dealt with care, but since he didn't have an heir, he just thought of this on a whim. So he asked for a healthy princess who could give him many babies, and look. Here you are. Cecil, yells out loud says. Is this how you treat human beings? Am I a childbearing animal? The king says. Now. That's the king's edict, watch your mouth. She reply. Does it look like I'm in the mood to watch anything? King says. I'm relieved to hear your voice like that, what are you waiting for? Why aren't you preparing for the princess' departure? She angrily says. Hey! Look here! Since when did you start treating me like a princess? Meanwhile we see they took her away without her consent. And she has just met her half-sibling for the first time and they begin to speak some awful word to her. It was nice meeting you, let's never meet again. I'll remember you, Cecil. I'll take good care of your corpse. Cecil says. Do I know you? Is this something you say to a half-sibling you just met? And then she's showing middle finger to them while leaving. And she thinks. As the illegitimate child of the Nabatean royal family, I, Cecil, ended up like this. The teachers who gave me bridal lessons all cried when they sent me off. And both of her teacher was sobbing and one of her teacher says, Princess Cecil, I will never forget you. And the other teacher says, You will forever remain in our hearts. She thinks, I haven't died yet. But even I know that I will die soon. When I resided in the secondary palace, I heard plenty of stories about King Estienne. Most of them were about many he killed. And how the aristocrats were all eager to know how many more days the queen-to-be can live. Then someone says, Princess Cecil, we have arrived. She is looking out of her carriage window. And the servant opened the carriage door. And then we catch a glimpse of white beautiful castle, the palace stairs covered in red carpet, the servants waiting for her to taking to the King Estienne. She look at the palace and thinks. To think I will die with so extravagance. Now she remember of those childhood days of her when she was alone with her 3 maids and thinks. I was cast away into the secondary palace and was treated like I didn't exist. They sent me off like this, and they will live comfortably, that's what's happening. And the maid tells her. Princess? His Majesty is waiting, you must hurry and get off. She thinks while stepping out from the carriage. That's right, if I am destined to die. I should die graciously, right? She says to the maid. No. The maid respond. Pardon? Cecil reply. I said, no, she thinks if I'm destined to die anyway, then I should at last act crazy before I go. She says. If His Majesty doesn't come to escort me personally, I refuse to move a single step. That's where I leave this episode for today. If you want another episode of this, please let me know in comment. Hopefully you will help me to reach more wider audience by liking, subscribing, and sharing. Thank you for being a part of this manhwa journey. I'll see you in the next recap. Till then, goodbye.